Very good. Good evening, folks. Wow, that mic is live. Good evening and welcome to the March 16th, 2022 Joint Finance Committee with the Bristol Warren Regional School District. If we could all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please have your seats. So I'd like to welcome everybody to the meeting. My name is Steve Kalender. I am the Vice President of the Warren Town Council, and I will be acting as the chair of tonight's meeting. This evening in attendance, we have from the Bristol Warren Regional School Committee, Sheila Ellsworth. Good evening, Sheila. Welcome. We have our Superintendent, Anna Riley. Good evening. We have our CFO, Tony Ferrucci. Good evening. Tony, the big day Saturday. Forget about St. Patty's Day. Big day Saturday for the Italians. It's St. Joseph's Day. Good evening, Marge McBride, the school committee chairperson. Tamara Kaplan, our non-elected official who's appointed by the Warren Council. Good evening and welcome. Mary Perella. We have Aaron Lay, Bristol Council, Bristol Town Administrator, Steve Contente. Good evening. Always a pleasure to see you, sir. Bristol Council President Nathan Calero. Good evening. Mr. Tim Sweeney, Bristol Council. Tony Texera from Bristol Council. We have to my right, Warren Council President John Hanley. And if you're wondering who this lovely young lady to my left is, she is Jessica Capaldi. She'll be acting as our recording secretary and recording all the minutes. So we're going to get right into this. Enough of the accolades and hellos and high fives. On the agenda this evening, members, is we have the minutes from our previous meetings from March 11th, March 25th, May 26th, and March 3rd of 2022. The other three are from 2021. They've all been sent electronically. I've been reviewed. I see no problems with them, but if any member has an issue with them, please bring it up now. We'll make a correction. If not, can I have a motion on the minutes?
I make a motion that we approve.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. Perfect. So the minutes are in the past. So on new business, it was suggested, I'm going to do new business first before we go into old business, that we discuss and try and hammer out, God bless you, the meeting dates for next year's JFC. And if we can try to bring up a calendar and go to March of 2023, we can kind of get an idea and work backwards. I know Bristol has a different time schedule you guys use for your budget, and I know Warren has their own schedule. But if we worked with March 2nd and March 15th, that's a Thursday and a Wednesday, it kind of mirrors what we have going on this year. But I am open to any suggestions and recommendations. So,
Mr. Chair, the second sounds like a doable date for next year, but may I suggest that we would have the second, the final meeting, if you will, the last week of March? Rationale behind that is typically Bristol does its budget the week of the 20th. So that would allow us time to look at our budget before we make a final decision here, which is not what's happening tonight. It's okay, but we would prefer that. So if we were to do, may I suggest either the 28th or the 29th, that's a Tuesday or a Wednesday. And that would allow an extra day if there's, for example, late snow or something like that.
My council president from Warren has given me a nod. I don't see any issues with those dates. We have the Bristol Council in front of us. I mean, our manager's in attendance, although it's a public hearing. I don't see any yays and nays from her. So how about we go March 2nd and March 29th, a Thursday and a Wednesday.
It works for me.
Works for you? Okay. Any other further discussion?
So March 2nd and March 29th.
March 2nd and March 29th.
So I'll make that motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor of March 2nd and March 29th, 2023 for the Joint Finance Committee meetings? Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. Perfect. We are moving right along. Now we're on to old business. Good evening, Superintendent Riley. As I previously stated, I would give you another opportunity to give a recap and kind of have that closing final argument or final, say whatever you would like to do about your budget. So the floor is yours.
Thank you. So at our previous meeting, I believe one of the members of the council asked for more information on CTE. So Dr. Santa provided, I left this document at your place. It's just a little flow chart about our CTE programs and what's available to students. So that is there for you. And then I also, Mr. Ferrucci provided me with a copy of this document, which is also in front of you, which is just how we come to the formula for the split between Bristol and Warren. So that's there also for your information. Otherwise, I am proud of the budget we've presented you. I think that we have both made streamlined decisions to create more efficiencies, but also have put things into the budget that we believe will help improve our student outcomes for next year. So I hope that you will approve it this evening, but we are happy to answer any questions that you may still have lingering on the budget. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. Now, I do owe an apology to my school committee members for not acknowledging and recognizing that you guys are in attendance. I apologize, and our assistant superintendent. So thank you all for coming, and obviously you are more than welcome. I'm going to do something a little different as far as going to the committee, because it seems like we are in agreement. And look, I'm not trying to rush anybody out of here, but we had an excellent presentation by the school department last meeting. We've had opportunity to dive into this. I had some questions that I've had asked and answered, and I'm satisfied with the responses I got. So I'm going to shift right now and go to the Bristol Town Council President, Nate Calero. Please, the floor is yours, sir.
Thank you. He captured it perfectly. I said it last time. I know we all did too. This is, I'm going to use the same word I used before, refreshing. To have the information, to have it in a way that is clear and not convoluted, purposely or otherwise. I want to commend you not only on that, but also we know in reaching out to you, the hard work that you put into this, we can see that you're making some hard decisions too. And although that is a challenge, we appreciate, and I'm going to speak for myself, not my colleagues, and they probably agree, that I support what you have put in front of us and that you're asking. It's my intention, not until we hear from the public, absolutely, because I may hear something that would completely change my mind. I don't think so. But it's my intention to make a motion to fund exactly what you've requested. So fully fund the 2.46%, which is, I believe, is what our form says. So exactly what you asked for. That is my intention. And again, I think my colleagues and I think the chairman captured it well, that I think we're all on the same page on that. And it's not because of exactly the dollar figure solely. It's because of the hard work that you're doing, the hard work that you're going to do, and the information that you shared was clear and understandable. So thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
You're welcome. I'm going to now go to the Bristol Town Administrator. If you'd like to have any opportunity to say anything, the floor is yours, sir.
I'll reserve my opportunity. I'm pleased with the cooperation, as I stated last meeting, and I don't have any questions at this point. Thank you.
Thank you. And now I'm just going to defer to the Warren Council President. Mr. Hanley, I know this is not new to you, but new in this capacity. I know you've attended JFC meetings in the past, but now kind of, I wouldn't say thrown into the fire, but, you know.
Well, this is actually the first one that I've actually participated in on this side of the table. And it's the calmest one I've ever been to. You know, sitting out in the audience, it was like, oh God, I'm glad I'm not up there. But what was presented here, I was completely impressed with. It almost got a little bit upset when I said, why did it take so long to get something like this in front of us? But it's very precise, it's detailed, and there's a saying, ask for something reasonable and you'll get a reasonable response. And this is a perfect example to that right here. So yeah, thank you very much. I think you put together a really nice budget, very easy to read, very easy to understand. And as Councilman Calero said, there's nothing deceiving. There's no hidden. We're not playing the shell game here. It's all right there in front of us, and that makes it so much easier to make a decision. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other members? Ms. Kaplan, is there something that you would like to add?
Oh, I just wanted, there are a couple, I have a question, and then I have a comment. So I am curious, just when I look at the general fund staffing budget, I was just curious why there was such an increase in admin and then decrease in schools, and like what that, if you can just go a little bit in depth.
Sure.
in that.
So what we did was, there are staff that are shared amongst schools. So specifically our school social workers, our school psychologists, our reading specialists, our math specialists, and our goal was to direct those to where the data and the need says that they should be. And so we assigned all of those staff to central office, either to Dr. Santa or to Brenda Tolden, our student support specialist. So then when we have the data at the start of the school year, when we're building the schedules for next year, we'll assign that staff to the locations that are appropriate. So it looks like all the staff was gained at central office and it was lost at schools, but it was just a shift in those roles from being at the school level to being assigned from the district level. They'll all work in the schools, but it just allows us to assign them based on the need versus just randomly splitting people across schools.
Yeah, that makes sense. Can you also, like, you had mentioned, and this is just my curiosity, you had mentioned that with the CTE program, you apply for Perkins money.
Yes.
And then if Perkins money, if that is a grant, I assume that comes,
It's federal funds.
it's federal funds that comes in, and then at the end of those federal funds, does the district then have to pick up the funds, or is this sort of like?
Perkins funds are very similar to Title I dollars.
Okay.
They've never been cut yet, I assume.
Yeah.
As long as the National Department of Ed continues to support CTE, which I don't anticipate they would, Perkins will continue to exist
Got it,
as will
okay.
Title I and IDEA.
All right, cool. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I guess I also would like to say that am all about funding school budgets. I think it's really important for our young people. So if we look at our young people, but I also just want to make sure that everyone also realizes that this didn't just sort of happen, and there's historical sort of data and a historical sort of wave that sort of happened that we got here because we've been working really hard to get here. So let's also not forget the work that we put in the past, and this didn't sort of come up in a vacuum. So that is my thing for the night. So thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other members on the committee? Yes, Mr. Sweeney,
Yeah,
the floor is yours.
Just wanted to quickly thank the school committee for your hard work and your diligence on the budget, and the administration for your hard work on the budget. Again, speaking like many of my other colleagues have, that was very refreshing. It was very clean, very straightforward. I think there's a very clear vision. And I'd like to say I look back about 10 years ago, we had just lost our regional bonus. And we had to grapple through that for many, many years. And we're now out of that. And look at where we are now. So I feel like we're on a good path. We're moving in the right direction. Let's keep it going. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other members?
Mr. Chairman.
I see Mr. Lay. Yeah, I
All
recognize.
right, we got eye
Yeah, I
contact.
got your eye
All
contact
right,
with
well,
you. Yep.
I just
I'll
want
get you
to,
next
I want to second some of the comments that have been made today. Certainly, I know that the school committee has been doing a lot of work over the past year working on this budget. It's a committee-driven process, and you guys should be proud of the work that you've been doing this whole time. And thanks to the superintendent for presenting to us the budget that you presented to us. I agree, very straightforward. All of our questions have been answered, and I'm certainly happy with it. Thanks.
Thank you. Mr. Texera, the floor is yours.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
How long do I have?
As long as you want. You're the senior member here.
Probably by age.
By age, yes.
Uh,
Wisdom.
No, thank you. Appreciate that. No, I echo the comments already made by all my colleagues here, certainly, and all the appreciation that goes with that as well. And also a big thank you to all the folks that reached out to us via email, phone calls, text messages. Certainly thank you to all of those folks in supporting us in our endeavor. Thank you.
You're welcome. Of course, Mrs.
I might as
Yes.
well, right?
No, the best for last. Absolutely. Yes.
But I would kind of ditto all the comments. I think it's nice to see that, as I think Chairman Hanley pointed out, there's not all this contention going on right now. It's always one of these meetings that, we're happy to hear what everyone has to say, but it's always been a big battle. And it's nice to be able to just go in, and I like the comment that was made, if you ask for something reasonable, we don't have to figure out we go down 0.25, what that's going to be, or 0.5% or whatever. I mean, it's really refreshing, and I wish you the best, the school department, the school committee. It's been, just from reading in the paper, a little rocky this year, but I think now it looks like there's a good administrative team in place, and I'm glad that that is going on. So best of luck to all of you, and I think that this is a great, a good starting point for us going forward too.
Thank you. At this time, I'm going to open the floor up to any member of the public that wishes to come up. I would just remind the individual or individuals who do come up that you can ask us any question you want about what's before us on the agenda, meaning the budget that was presented by the school district. It's not an opportunity for you up here to weigh out your grievances that you may have something else going on, because we can't address it. So if there's anybody in the public that would like to come up and speak and ask a question, by all means, feel free to come up. For a second, I thought we had a taker. Since I do not see any individuals coming up from the public, I am going to close the public portion of this meeting right now, and I'm going to bring it back to the committee. Are there any other questions or concerns or points that we want to address before I ask for a motion? And I'm going to go back to the superintendent one more time. Is there anything else you would like to add before I bring it back for the motion?
Nothing.
Nothing at this time.
Nothing
Then
else.
at this time, I am going to ask if there is a member from the Joint Finance Committee that would like to present a motion for us to consider on voting.
I will do that.
And the chair recognizes Council President Nate Calero.
I will make a motion to fund as requested. I will clarify that motion once we get a second, and I will do the breakdown as typical. So, but to be clear, it's the dollar figure, the bottom line dollar figure was $56,950,024, which was as requested.
I will second that motion.
So I have a motion from Council President Nate Calero, and I have a second from Council President John Hanley. Any further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, would you like
So
to?
bear with me as I go through this. You ready? So the Joint Finance Committee has the responsibility and the authority to bind the towns of Bristol and Warren in providing for funding adequate for continued operations of our regional school district based upon our community's ability to pay, the amount the state and other aid available, and the appropriateness of the expenditures shown in the requested budget. And the Joint Finance Committee recognizes the continuing significant educational progress, fiscal responsibility, and commitment and dedication of staff, administration, and school committee. And the Joint Finance Committee is acutely aware of the financial crisis facing our nation. Interesting, that's in here. It's a really old motion. How about that? So the maximum expenditure level for the Bristol Warren Regional School District, exclusive of grants and state pension cost funding, is set at $56,950,024 as follows. Summary operations costs, $55,364,974. Debt service, $1,585,050. Total authorization, $56,950,024. Estimated non-local aid, $14,407,059. Authorized local aid, $42,542,965. And total, the local contribution is fixed in accordance with the enabling legislation as amended in November 2014. Total student population this budget is based off of 2,858. Total local authorized aid, again, of $42,542,965. That breakdown is 1,075 students, or 37.62%, In Warren, that breakdown is of $13,780,322 and 1,783 students, or 62.38%. That's Bristol's contribution of $28,762,643.
I have a question. The spreadsheet that the district gave us, the numbers are different.
That's okay.
Is there a change, Tony? Like the numbers I'm seeing on the breakdown? I just want to make sure that we are 100% correct so we don't have to come back with it.
The sheet that was scanned out this evening,
Yeah.
I believe equals the sheets that were in the budget, but these have been reviewed both by city finance and my office, and I concur with the numbers as presented in the document in front of you.
Okay, that's fine.
Thank you for saying that. In fact, earlier today, I did verify with Julie, our town treasurer, and she verified with Warren Town Treasurer Fung, and of course yourself, to make sure that we were in concurrence. As you recall, last year, there was a question about how these numbers were shown, not the bottom line, but how they were shown. So,
Okay. And we're on point.
a little bit.
Correct. The motion has been made. It has been duly seconded. I'm going to do roll call vote. Ms. Perella,
Yes.
Mr. Lay,
Aye.
Mr. Contente,
Aye.
Mr. Calero,
Aye.
Mr. Sweeney,
Aye.
Mr. Texera,
Aye.
Mr. Hanley,
Aye.
and the chair also votes aye. Oh, Tamara Kaplan,
Yes.
I apologize.
Your apology is accepted.
Yeah,
Yeah, yes.
and we have a 9-0 unanimous vote. The budget passes. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. If you'll allow me maybe 30 seconds before I ask for a motion to adjourn. This will be my last meeting as the Joint Finance Committee chairperson because my term has expired going into next year. I want to thank every member on this committee for having the confidence and faith in me to extend my term 2 more years because of what we were dealing with COVID, what we were dealing with a superintendent, another superintendent, another superintendent. We welcome you. You're never allowed to leave. So I am humbled and honored to have sat here for 4 years. And I am truly impressed on how we were able to get to this point with a lot of work, but a short amount of time and not a lot of yelling and screaming. So I thank each and every one of you. May I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Nobody wants to leave?
I'm in.
Second.
Make the motion to adjourn.
All in favor? Aye. We are adjourned. Good evening, folks.